Gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Keytime Sports, please like, comment, share, subscribe right here on YouTube, Keytime Sports. Key City Sports on Instagram and the key on millions.co. It's week 7 of the 2025 NFL season. We getting down to the nitty gritty time now because that week 7, I always say at that halfway point of the season, you know what kind of team you have. If you are 2-5, 1-5, 3-6, or whatever, your season is pretty much cooked. It's pretty much done. Now, everybody who has a record higher, who has a record that is much higher than that, 5-1, 4-2, you're in the playoffs, but you are still able to win a few games. You will still be able to win a few games to get yourself in a playoff seating that you like. Now, the current playoff picture is kind of surprising to me. You got the top team in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts. I certainly do not believe that the Indianapolis Colts will hold on to that number one seed because you got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs had early season struggles, but as of right now, they are 3-3. And it doesn't matter because we all know that the Chiefs, they have playoff experience, championship experience, and the Chiefs will be in it in the end. I would not be surprised if for the eighth straight year the Chiefs are in the AFC championship. But I'm not going to go too much into those playoff scenarios because it's still early in the season and we're not even at the end of October yet. So now let me go to the games that we have on the slate for this week. Tonight, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals, they just acquired Joe Flacco basically a week ago, and Joe Flacco, outside of everything that I've been hearing, he knows how to call the offense. That's just a bunch of BS to me. It really is because Joe Flacco is so inconsistent. When you put expectations on Joe Flacco, he crumbles like a cookie. He does. And the Bengals are 2-4 right now. Bengals fans are trying to hold out hope that their starting quarterback Joe Burrow can get back in the fold by early December. But how many losses will the Bengals have by then? Because they haven't won since week 2. Plus, since this losing streak, they have the worst offense in the NFL at only 16 points per game. Third down efficiency is 32nd. Fourth down efficiency is 32nd. So you don't have anything to hang your hat on. Only thing the Bengals have is T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And T. Higgins, he hasn't been getting the receptions that he usually gets. So you're only down to Jamar Chase. Now, I know what Mike Tomlin said earlier in the week about Andrew Berry and him being much smarter than him. Everybody, he was being sarcastic about that because we've never seen that before. A how is a divisional opponent in the Cleveland Browns going to trade your quarterback to a opponent in your division and not make it seem like that it doesn't make sense? Because it doesn't. Because it's like, why would I send my best asset from my team over to your team and I got to play you multiple times a year? See, he already knows the playbook that the Cleveland Browns have. So when the Bengals play the Cleveland Browns again, Joe Flacco, he already reads the Cleveland Browns like a book. But back to what I was saying about this game, Steelers, they are the better team. As of right now, Steelers, they are a 4.5 point favorite. It was 5.5 points from the start of this week. 61% of the money is on the Steelers to win this game. And I think the Steelers will win this game no matter what. I don't expect this game to be a blowout because historically, and I always say this, when you play division rivals, throw all of the records, the metrics, and all of the odds out the window because this game is going to be close no matter what. Only way I don't see this game being close is if Joe Flacco throw 2 or 3 interceptions. That's the only way I don't see it. And Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, he's pretty much above average now. He's an above average quarterback because we know that he is on the north side of 40. He's going to be 41 at the end of this season. And you just don't know how many more downs Aaron Rodgers has in his career and how many passes that he needs to throw. I think in this game, he'll throw 25 to 30 passes, have over 200 yards, and come out away with a win. So I got Pittsburgh Steelers winning tonight's game, and I had them covering the 4.5 point spread. Now let's get to the second game: the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Los Angeles Rams. 9:30 a.m. kickoff Sunday morning football. I might add you. Right now, the Los Angeles Rams are a 2.5 point favorite, and one thing that I can say about the Rams, we know that the Rams have started off 4-2 the last couple of years, and they've been able to make it to the playoffs. But as far as the Jaguars, I hope I am not witnessing another slide like I saw back in 2023. Because 2023, the Jaguars started off like this, 4-2, and after 11 games, they were 8-3. And then all of a sudden, everything started to just drop off. So hopefully, this is not a slide. I am not going to take the Jaguars in this game. I'm going to take the Rams. And that would still make the Jaguars second place in the AFC South. But hopefully, and I do mean hopefully, this is not a 4-5 game slide for the Jaguars. Hopefully. The Rams, I know they're trying to keep pace with everybody else in the top of the NFC, and I could see them winning this game. The next game I'm going to cover: the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, they've been looking pretty great after this 3-game winning streak when they started off the season 2-0-2. Now we get to that point where the Chicago Bears offense is starting to click on all cylinders, starting to generate yards and generate points throughout the entirety of their games that they are playing. Now, I'm not going to say that this is going to be a blowout because games like this throughout the earlier part of the season was not blowout. So the game plan for the Bears is don't play down to your competition in this game. We already know that the Saints are 1-5. This is a rebuilding year for them. So what the Bears need to do is put the Saints to bed by the start of the fourth quarter because you do not want to be in a tight game with the Saints and the possibility of the Saints winning. That could really mess up everything when it comes to trying to get to the playoffs. And the Bears, obviously, they have a chance at making the playoffs, but you do not want losses like this on your resume if you are the Chicago Bears. So I got the Bears winning this game. New Orleans Saints go back to the drawing board and get ready for next season. The next game I'm going to cover is the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. Miami Dolphins, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Tua came out yesterday, apologized to the team. One thing I can say is that a quarterback, you are a starting quarterback. If you're gonna say that, if you're gonna say that the team needs a joke, you need to do that in the privacy of the facility. And as far as like not players not coming to player only meetings, those are voluntarily. You only volunteer for players only meetings. That's all. But the Dolphins, these problems started coming up to the surface in late 2023. Now it's 2025, and now you are at the point where Mike McDaniel's coaching tender, I'm not going to say that it pretty much hinges on this game. Because if the Dolphins somehow, some way lose in a cold weather climate, even though it's not cold yet in Cleveland, but we know historically the Dolphins have a tough time trying to win in cold weather climate games. So now, the Browns, in this case, the Browns, they have the early odds on favorite to win this game at 2.5. The Dolphins, as a team right now, no cohesiveness. You got Tua trying to get his guys confident, get his guys prepared. But some of them guys, they don't even want to be there. And you have the owner, Stephen Ross, he is pretty much just being patient. Now, I know the first year, 2023, with Tua, Tyreek Hill, and everybody, they had a chance. They made the playoffs, but we all know what happened. They went to Kansas City and lost. Last year, Tua got injured, and the season was pretty much over. This year, before the season, well, after game one, they have players only meetings. And ever since then, they've been having players only meetings. If you have a players only meeting before your season starts or after the first game of your season is pretty much done. It really is. It's pretty much done. So I can't trust the Miami Dolphins right now, and I certainly can't trust the Cleveland Browns. But somebody's got to win this game. Both teams are 1-5. I would not be surprised if the Miami Dolphins win this game, but I am going to go with the Cleveland Browns because Cleveland Browns, we know that they are a work in progress. And we know that Dylan Gabriel, he isn't a bad quarterback, but he is just basic. I mean, he is basic. He is the quarterback that makes the checkdowns, don't really throw the ball down the field unless the offensive coordinator doesn't want Dylan Gabriel to throw the ball down the field. But we haven't seen him throw the ball down the field on a regular basis. And I think that this is the last game that Dylan Gabriel starts this season. I do. And I think next week or the week after, Shedeur Sanders will be the starter because you got to see what you have in store with Shedeur. Now, I know Kevin Stefanski, he doesn't want, well, I'm not going to say that because he hasn't came out and said that publicly, but you can see from Kevin Stefanski's actions, he doesn't want Shedeur Sanders to play. He doesn't. Now, everybody, and I do mean everybody in the NFL, whether you are a fan of the Cleveland Browns or not, you want to see Shedeur Sanders play. Kevin Stefanski, he is the one that is holding up that domino, and we want that domino to fall. Now, I believe that it's going to come a time where owner Jimmy Haslam has to come in and tell Kevin Stefanski, I want to see Shedeur play in the game. And I believe that's the only way that Shedeur Sanders is going to play. Because if he doesn't play, Kevin Stefanski gets fired no matter what. So the Browns, they don't listen to their fans. They don't, because it has been countless times throughout the start of this season where the Browns fans have protested that they want Shedeur to start. Not taking anything away against Dylan Gabriel, because Dylan Gabriel, he is a decent quarterback. He's only thrown one interception in 3 games. So I got to give him credit where credit is due. But everybody, we already know who we want to see when it comes to the Browns. Outside of Shedeur, the Browns are not even talked about. Shador is the only reason why we talk about the Browns every week, why I talk about the Browns every week, why you see on ESPN, Fox News, Fox Sports News, CBS Sports, and all these other sports outlets. Shador Sanders is the only reason that the Cleveland Browns are relevant. And even though that they have a losing record, they are still relevant. So Browns 1-5, Dolphins 1-5. I got the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what is going. Well, I do know what's going on in Miami. The players don't have no confidence in the quarterback. The players don't have no confidence in the general manager. The players don't have a confidence in the head coach. And that term, that one term that I hate when journalists use is, oh, this coach or this player has lost the locker room. Can you use a better phrase than just a player or a coach lost the locker room? Because those are filler words. It's like, come on. It's like everybody we all went to college for journalism. Anybody, and I do mean anybody that is covering sports, you went to school for it. I'm pretty sure they said, do not use filler words like lost the locker room. You have to go into your repertoire, your word repertoire, and come up with another advanced phrase or advanced words to describe the Miami situation. That's what you should do. But losing the locker room, that phrase, I don't even know why whoever came up with that phrase, they just didn't have anything else to say and they just wanted to use filler words. But all in all, I got the Cleveland Browns winning this game. And I believe Coach Mike McDaniel, he will be fired sooner rather than later. I already had him on my chopping block coming into the season. He is off the chopping block, and now he is reportedly on the hot seat. So nobody stays on my chopping block for long because it's the chopping block and then it's the public hot seat. So Browns are going to win this game. The next game I'm going to cover is the New England Patriots and the Tennessee Titans. Patriots are going to win this game outright because the Titans are in the same exact boat that the Browns are in. Only thing that's different with the Titans, they have their quarterback for the future in Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward, I could see him having a good game, but the Patriots, they're going to win this game by default because the Titans' defense is at the bottom of the league. Titans' offense is at the bottom of the league. Third down efficiency for the Titans' offense, bottom of the league. Defensive efficiency on third down, bottom of the league. So the Tennessee Titans, we already knew that it was going to be a rebuilding year for them. We already knew that. The Patriots, they surprising the hell out of everybody because coming into the season, I had the Patriots as a dark horse to make it to the playoffs. Now, they 4-2 right now, and they are top dogs in their division. See, that's why I said earlier this week that the Buffalo Bills got some problems on their hands when it comes to the Patriots because Patriots already beat Buffalo in Buffalo. The next game that the Patriots play against Buffalo will be in Foxborough, and that'll be more than likely for the division championship. So now we getting to the point where the Bills, like I've been saying, the Bills, they had a 5-year gap where they pretty much won the division by the time Thanksgiving got here. Now you have trouble on your hands with the young up-and-coming Patriots team, and I believe that this Patriots team is not going to lose their grip on this division lead. They are going to handle business down in Nashville, and they are going to win substantially. And I do believe I could see this game being a blowout. This might be the blowout of the week right here because the Patriots are far away more superior than the Titans. The Titans, they trying to find out who their next head coach is going to be. And it's sad that we have to talk about this because just a couple of years ago, the Titans had Mike Vrabel as their head coach, and he had a winning record with his tender with the Titans. I don't know what's going on with Titans ownership. I don't know whether they are impatient, whether they want to get back to the playoffs, but you already know that the fans, they already done punted on this season. Because what I'm hearing out of Nashville, most of the fans are like, we don't even need to go to the games. There are so many empty seats in Nissan Stadium in Nashville where the Titans play. It's ridiculous. It is. So your fan base is pretty much done with you for the rest of this season. And the Titans, they just need to get ready for the draft in April to try and get some better wide receivers, some better weapons around Cam Ward if he is going to be your franchise quarterback. Now you still got Will Levis. You still got Will Levis on the roster. You said he was going to be your franchise quarterback, and it seemed like that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. So that's really not working out. So Tennessee Titans, what are you doing? Because I don't know, and the world doesn't know. And people that are inside the Titans facility, they don't know what the hell is going on. So Titans, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans don't win another game this season. Patriots, go out there, handle your business, and come on back and get ready for next week. The next game I'm going to cover is the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Kansas City Chiefs are a 12.5-point favorite. This was 11.5 an hour ago. So the bettors are expecting a blowout. But what do I always say when it comes to division games? Blowouts are not guaranteed in division games. Now the Chiefs, I got them as by default the best team in the AFC. I don't care what the Colts are doing. I don't think what Pittsburgh is doing, I don't think that's going to be sustainable. I don't. So now when we get to the Chiefs got all of these dynamic wide receivers. Just like I said before the season started, the Chiefs, they have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Noah Gray. They also have Travis Kelce. But right now, Travis Kelce, the attention is not on him anymore. And this is a good thing for Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, what he needs to do is just be the secondary piece. That's what he gonna be. Travis Kelce is going to be the secondary piece because you got Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice. That is your big three when it comes to your wide receivers. Now you got Travis Kelce and Noah Gray in that tight end position. You could do some things there. You can throw some people off. Because when you have three dynamic wide receivers on the field, the defense is going to be focused on Hollywood Brown. We got to focus on Hollywood Brown. Oh, wait a minute. We got to focus on Xavier Worthy. Oh, wait a minute. We got to focus on Rashee Rice. That's what these opponents on the defensive side are going to be saying. And when those guys, well, you can't double those guys. You really can't. And if you try and double those guys, you got Noah Gray and Travis Kelce open. So in this game, the Raiders pretty much 2-4. Reportedly, I'm hearing that Pete Carroll, he may be fired after the end of this season. But those are just rumors right now. Those are the rumors and speculation. But I got the Chiefs winning this game because they are at home and they getting back into the groove, and this is the point in the season where they start to go on their run. The next game I'm going to cover is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. The Eagles, in this case, 4-2. They started out 4-2 in 2023. We all know how that ended. Last year they started out 2-2. We all know how that ended. Let's see what is going to transpire in this game. Now, even though that the Eagles are favored to win this game, I'm gonna pick the Vikings. And even in my prediction portal, I got the Vikings winning this game because I don't know what well, I hope I see a different Philadelphia Eagles offense because the last two games they've only scored 17 points each. And in a league where it's offensive dominant, and we already know that you can't win a game in the NFL nowadays without a good offense that is averaging 30 points or more a game. You're not going to be able to. So I got the Vikings winning this game. The Eagles, if they lose this game, the NFC East is wide open. The NFC East is wide open by default. You got the Eagles at 4-2. You got the Giants at 2-4. You got the Commanders at 3-3. And you got my Dallas Cowboys at 2-3-1. So it is not a foregone conclusion in the NFC East anymore. It never was. But I got the Vikings winning over the Eagles in Sunday's game. The next game I'm going to cover is the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. I got the Carolina Panthers winning this game because I have no confidence in the New York Jets. I certainly don't. I have no confidence. The Panthers, I like what Bryce Young is doing. He is taking control of the huddle, and most of his career wins, 8 of his career wins, he's got 9 career wins, but 8 of his career wins come from behind wins, game-winning drives. And I think that the Panthers, who are 3-3, are in the hunt for a playoff spot. Now, let me tell you something. I had the Panthers as a dark horse to make the playoffs. I had the Patriots as a dark horse to make the playoffs. I even had the Jets as a dark horse to make the playoffs. But the Jets, they not going to make the playoffs. Let's just go ahead and just throw that out the way. Now, we get to the Panthers. We see what the Panthers are doing. Maybe they can get a wild card playoff spot. The Panthers are going to win this game. The next game I am going to cover, New York Giants, Denver Broncos. Broncos going to win this game. Broncos going to win this game. The Giants, I like what I'm seeing from Jackson Dart. Cam Scatterboo, his nickname, Cam Scatterboo is Scatter Boom. Now, we get to the point where the Denver Broncos, as far as offensively, the last couple of weeks, they've been treading water. The Giants' offense, the last couple of weeks, we know that the Giants, they blew out the Eagles, and they couldn't do nothing versus the Saints. Let's see what the New York Giants can do versus the Broncos. The Broncos, they have a top-notch defense. The Broncos had 9 sacks last game versus the other New York team in the Jets. Let's see how many sacks they can get this season. Not this season, but this game. I got the Broncos winning this game, not just because they are at home, but they have the better defense. The quarterback position is about the same. I think the Giants can keep this game close, but in the end, the Broncos are going to win this game no matter what. The next game I'm going to cover, this is potentially playoff playoff seeding right here, because you got the Colts at 5-1, top of the AFC, and you got the Chargers, who are 4-2, currently third in the AFC right now. The Chargers are a 1.5 point favorite in this game. Justin Herbert, I believe Justin Herbert is going to have a good game. Now, I've been saying this over the past couple of weeks that Daniel Jones, for him to be that top, for him to be in a top-notch season, for him to have a top-notch game, he's got to be top-notch versus top-notch competition. Because what he has been doing versus inferior competition, that's inferior competition. Now, I do credit Daniel Jones for having a good game versus the Rams. He did. He had a good game versus the Rams. Let's see if Daniel Jones can have a good game versus the Chargers. Now, one thing about it is, the Colts, they've had so much early season success. We know first time since 2009 that they have had this much early season success, and they reached the Super Bowl that year with Peyton Manning. This is Daniel Jones, a career that has been resurrected. Everybody has gotten rid of that nickname Danny Dimes when he was in New York. Now they're calling him Indy Jones or Indiana Jones. I need to see Indiana Jones somehow shock the Chargers, and that's no pun intended, and unplug the Chargers. If he is that top-notch quarterback that everybody say that he is becoming. But I got the Chargers winning this game. Chargers have a good defense. They have a little bit better defense than the Colts. The Colts, they do have turnovers. The Chargers, they do get sacks. Something's got to give in this game. But all in all, I got the Chargers winning this game. The next game I am going to talk about is the Washington Commanders and my Dallas Cowboys. This is a game that the Dallas Cowboys defense needs to show up and show out. They do. They need to show up and show out. The Washington Commanders offense is not top notch like we all thought it would be. The Cowboys defense is top notch. Top offense in the NFL. Let's see what the Dallas Cowboys defense can do. Now, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys in this game, and I'm just going to hold my breath for what the Dallas Cowboys defense has in store. I got the Dallas Cowboys winning this game. The next game, Packers versus Cardinals, out of the way. I'm going to just go ahead and get this out of the way. Jordan Love, you got Jordan Love, you have Josh Jacobs, you got Matthew Golden, and the Cardinals haven't been able to stop any offense yet. And the last 4 games, they have lost all 4 of those games on the last play. So I got the Packers winning this game versus the Cardinals. I do. The next game, Sunday Night Football, Atlanta Falcons versus the San Francisco 49ers. I got the 49ers winning this game. The Atlanta Falcons, up and down every week. Michael Penix, he had a good game against the Buffalo Bills. 49ers defense is pretty much They have cracks in the foundation when it comes to their defense. 49ers, they have one of the most injury riddled teams this season. And even though that they are injury riddled, somehow they have a winning record. And I think since they are at home, they will come out victorious in this game. They will. So I got the 49ers winning Sunday night football over the Atlanta Falcons. Monday night football. We got two games this week. Buccaneers versus Lions, Houston Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks. I got the Detroit Lions winning this game because Baker Mayfield, he is having a good season. Yes, he is having a good season. But the Lions, I could see the Lions putting pressure on Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield, we all know that he is going to throw some interceptions. In the game that they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, he threw interceptions. The Lions, in a game like this, 5-2. 5-2. If, and I do mean if, the Buccaneers lose this game, they will also be 5-2. Now you get to the point where you got the Lions at 5-2, you got the Buccaneers at 5-2. Now we are having a conversation of who is the best team in the NFC, because Lions will be 5-2 if they win. 49ers will be 5-2 if they win over the Falcons. The Buccaneers will be 5-2. And if the Seattle Seahawks win on Monday Night Football, they will also be 5-2. So you have a three-way tie, well, a four-way tie for the top seed in the NFC when you have four teams at 5-2. Now, I don't know if that is going to happen. If it does, that will be a snafu of records. So one thing about it is I got the Lions winning over the Buccaneers. The last game of the week is Monday Night Football, Houston Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks. I got the Seahawks winning this game because I just don't think that the Texans are going to be able to stop Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith, and Jigba consistently in this game. I just don't. And the Texans' offense is still in the lower half of the league when it comes to offensive points. So I got the Seattle Seahawks winning this game. We got two teams on a bye week this week, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. And with that, those are my predictions for week 7 of the NFL season in 2025. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the KeyOnMillions.co. And remember, everybody, one last thing. The key is always on time.